In Ohio's Cuyahoga Valley National Park, there's a place that freaks out adventurers, thrill seekers, and ghost hunters. Known as Helltown, this once thriving community is now abandoned. It's covered in creepy legends and spooky stories, and has a rep for being one of the scariest spots in Ohio. Ready to explore the mysteries of Helltown for yourself? Like, share, and subscribe for more spooky adventures. Helltown's origin, Boston, Ohio, had been a bustling community for many years. But everything changed in the early 1970s when the federal government decided to acquire the entire area to create Cuyahoga Valley National Park. This decision marked the beginning of a drastic transformation. The residents, who had called Boston home for so long, were forcibly removed from their houses, turning their once lively town into a desolate wasteland. To enhance the effect of abandonment, most of the houses, businesses, and other buildings were boarded up. These abrupt and seemingly meaningless evacuations paved the way for the unsettling presence that is known as Helltown today. Haunted heart of Helltown. While strolling along a deserted lane in Helltown, one couldn't help but let their mind wander. A wide, verdant forest surrounded them, the sound of a dilapidated home creaking in the distance. Deserted streets set the stage for tales of terror and spectral visits. The village seemed abandoned, with only the occasional howl from a distant dog and the soft trickle of water breaking the stillness of the night, heightening the eerie atmosphere. Legends and lore of Helltown. This is attributable to the fact that Helltown has steadily become a haven for numerous apparitions, which have given rise to potent myths ranging from the macabre to pure horror. Here are some of the most spine-chilling legends of Helltown. The haunted school bus. Possibly one of the most popular Helltown legends, including a school bus that was left to rot. The story around this specific bus is a very scary one. The people from this town claim that the souls of children killed by a wacko murderer roam the bus. Currently, people testified of having witnessed strange apparitions of being within the bus and the noises of giggling of children during the night. Satanic rituals. Helltown is famous, or rather notorious, for Satanism. Whispers of cults preparing for evil black magic in the woods of the town have been circulating. Some have thought that the government was raising the town to conceal such plans. Tourists have testified to having observed these signs, blobs of paint with odd patterns, bones of animals, and drawings of a star inside a circle, the most famous symbol of witchcraft. Mutant creatures. Peninsula python, or Helltown monster, is a huge snake or some sort of a mutant that roams the region. Some think that it was born due to polluting the environment. Ordinary animals were transformed into look-alike horrors through toxic waste production. Many people have testified being afraid of the sight of a large, slithering figure in the woods, and that they have not been imagining this. The cemetery and the crying angel. Another part of Helltown's landscape that has a lot to do with ghosts and various supernatural occurrences is the cemetery. The most famous one is that of the weeping angel, which is, as the name suggests, a statue that is believed to cry blood at night. There are also ancient rumors that the cemetery itself is home to some vengeful spirits upset over the town's forsaking. The Satanic Church. The chapel with reversed crosses and other satanic symbols was said to be used as a meeting ground for Satanists. People who ended up in Helltown spoke of listening to what sounded like people chanting and the feeling of being surveyed by the unseen as one would near the building. The Crybaby Bridge. Another creepy story that one might wish to avoid is that of the Crybaby Bridge. Stories have it that if one has to spend a night in that bridge, one will hear the sound of an infant crying being thrown into the river. Haunted moans can be heard from the silence, and they make the spines of the listeners turn into icicles. The Stanford Road. Stanford Road, or as it is locally known, the end of the world, can hardly be considered the cheeriest place in Helltown. This is a short, completely impassable road, ominous in that when a car approaches the end of the road, one wakes up to a vertical cliff at the bottom of which one never finds any car wreckage. Some claim that when driving at night, the headlights have been observed flickering at the edge, then snapped off at some given moment as if pulled into the darkness. This is in contrast to the description of the very ground, which is depicted as having some evil aura, thus compelling anyone interested in crossing the territory to turn back since it is too dangerous. The creepy abandoned buildings. Adventurers and urban explorers, also known as urbex, do not imagine Helltown as a place or going inside these ruins without any fear. Every single structure, as is evident, depicts a story of a deserted life. Especially the old church is considered to be explicitly dark. The residential houses remain abandoned with the paint faded, revealing its true color. The windows are all smashed and broken, yet the walls speak volumes of the people who were cut off midstream. The spooky forests. Helltown is well surrounded by thick forests that act as an added advantage to the area. These woods are reported to be occupied by all sorts of spirits and apparitions. It seems that those people who take a walk during the night claim that they catch glimpses of bright lights bobbing through the trees and sense footsteps behind them, though no one is ever in sight. Forest trails are generally narrow and may complete loops or may lead to specific points in the forest, which make you feel like you are surrounded by stalking eyes. Environmental disaster. In consonance with the dark history of the place, there is still another unpleasant story in Helltown, that of an environmental tragedy. Such facts as the presence of toxic waste in the region have raised concerns about the toxicity influence on the animals and people. Some people think that it is the effect of many abusive exposures to the environment that causes the spooky factor and mutants that make Helltown not only a paranormal zone, but a potential danger zone as well. Paranormal Investigations and sightings. Throughout the years, the legend of Helltown has drawn many supernatural enthusiasts and those who are interested in the supernatural. People using devices like EMF meters, thermal cameras, and spirit boxes have gone to the town to search for signs of the paranormal. Many have come out with tapes with eerie noises and ghostly apparitions.
Something's over there. I can hear it.
Or even their own terrifying first-person experience. Legacy of fear. These stories remained a part of the folklore and culture of the people in Helltown, and up to date, people are still scared of the place. Superstitious stories which are told from one generation to the other also contribute to the development of ghost stories as lore that is continually enriched. Thus, Helltown emerged as the place of supernatural horror that narrates the story of the thin wall between life and death. Helltown today. Helltown is now considered a tourist attraction for those who like mystery and adrenaline tours. The old houses, the broken buildings, and the thick, dense woods are considered perfect for horror tales. Everybody continues visiting the town, not only to see something extraordinary with their own eyes. Some return with cold spots and spiritual stories, and some return with photographic evidence that Helltown's sinister rumors are true. Theories and explanations. However, skeptics have offered physical and logical explanations for the eerie events and ghost stories in Helltown. They attribute the strange occurrences to natural causes such as the wind, animals, and the power of suggestion. Some critics argue that the deserted structures simply evoke fear and ignite the imagination of those who visit. Despite these rational explanations, for those who believe in the terror lurking in Helltown, no amount of reasoning can diminish the town's spooky reputation. Helltown, an unbroken enigma. Many individuals have explored the roots of the Helltown legends, attempting to demystify the fables, but the horror stories persist. With its many empty houses, dense thickets, and myriad legends, Helltown remains an ideal setting for tales of ghosts and other supernatural beings. Whether or not real spirits inhabit Helltown, it is worth visiting for the legends alone if you enjoy ghost stories. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on our latest explorations into the unknown. Happy haunting!